Hey guys, what is up? I hope everyone's having a good night. I'm certainly having a good time. Chilling in my room right now, listening to a lot of good albums. And I have a hell of a lot to share with you guys tonight. It's been a while since I made a video. So the vinyl that I've collected over that period of time between when I made my last video and my video now, it's accrued quite a bit. So I have a lot to show you, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. Hopefully I don't bore any of you guys, but if anybody's interested to watch this, grab a beer or grab some form of a cold one, crack it open, sit back and enjoy. So here we go. So for tonight we got Presto as our background music by Rush. Good album by Rush. Definitely an underrated one in my opinion. This is a reissue right here, so this sounds great. And I've had this for years, so that's not part of the stack that I'm going to show you. So here we go. So first up is Rush. Rush Clockwork Angels tour. Really good live record. This is quite a record to get into, given that it's a 5 LP set. I mean the last side, the fifth album, is only one side, and it's really just like extra material. And then the other side is like this etching. But this is the whole concert of the Clockwork Angels tour. And I saw the band on that tour. I saw them up in Portland or Vancouver, Washington at the Sun Country Sleep Country Amphitheater. And we were back row of the whole place. But it was still a good show. I still remember them opening up with Subdivisions. I remember them playing The Big Money. Force 10, I certainly remember. A lot of it in between here and there was kind of a blur, which was kind of a bummer. I wasn't as into Rush at that time as I went to go see the show. I was a lot younger then, so I was just starting to get into music. But overall, it's a great show, great production. The band sounds fantastic. One of the cool things about this album is they play a lot of songs from the keyboard era of Rush, one of my favorite eras of the band. They play a ton from Power Windows. They add some Grace Under Pressure on here. They have some Signals on here with Subdivisions and the Analog Kid. And then they play almost the whole entirety of the album that they were touring with at the time, Clockwork Angels, which is by far one of my favorite Rush albums. Just given it's just a fantastic record. And that's kind of like the highlight of the show. They play everything from Caravan, Clockwork Angels, the Anarchist, Carnies. One of the highlights is definitely Headlong Flight. Wish Them Well, The Garden. They do a beautiful version of that song on here. It's just a great show. And then the last side on here is some extra songs that they didn't have in the original set. So songs like Middletown Dreams, The Past, Manhattan Project. They do a soundcheck recording of Limelight, which is really nothing special to listen to. I do remember Manhattan Project being played. So yeah, man, I wouldn't open this up. It's kind of weird packaging, so I'm not really going to show you guys, but it's really cool artwork on there. I really love the album artwork. So yeah, man, great show. Great concert to listen to. Alright, and moving on to some older Rush. This is Permanent Waves, but this is the 40th anniversary box set that the band just released this year. And listening to this, listening to both the new reissue of the album and the World Tour album that came along with it, I'm pretty satisfied. I gotta say, it's really cool because on this album, or on the live album, they do versions of songs that have never really been officially released before. Like they have a Cygnus X1 live in London from that era. And then they have Cygnus X1 Book 2. And I've never really heard that song live in a very clear recording before. I've looked up things on YouTube about it, but yeah, it was very cool to hear that song live. And a whole bunch of other stuff, Xanadu, Natural Science, The Trees, Jacob's Ladder, Free Will, of course, The Spirit of Radio. And then the reissue of the album sounds fantastic as well. Comes with this cool, I don't think I'll take it out because it's kind of a waste of time. But yeah, man, Criminal Waves box set, 40th anniversary, definitely a cool thing to have. Got this for my birthday, so thank you for the gift, Dad. And Last of the Rush. This is from the last box set. This is the live album for the Hemispheres tour. Another good live recording. I would say it's not their best, given that they're older recordings. It's just the recordings of the songs, they lack in parts, but they definitely are there in others. They do a great version of the Leah Strangiato, and then they do the whole 2112 on the last side of the record. And what I really like about this is that it's got this really cool gatefold where it's just got that cool album custom artwork. Great album, man. And it's been reproduced as well. So on the back here, they got a picture of, I honestly forget what you call that area, but it's an area in Arizona where it's very wide and open. They got like these desert towers. Certainly a beautiful sight. I love the desert, and that is cool to add on the album artwork. So yeah, man, the Hemispheres box set, which I actually have right here. Good collectible too. Yeah, so, and I am excited to see what Rush will keep on releasing with these box sets. The next one should be Moving Pictures, and it's Signals, Grace Under Pressure. So it's gonna be cool to see the live songs that they release from the tours that they went on for those albums. So yeah, man, looking forward to that stuff. Next one is Tool, 10,000 Days. This is a hard album to come by, but I was luckily able to come by it on eBay for a reasonable price, and this is an official pressing right here too, which is even better. It's not like some weird unofficial pressing, which is what you find with a lot of Tool albums for whatever reason, particularly with that one album, Anima, which I won't own that on vinyl until it's at a reasonable price. But I was glad to own this one, because this is definitely one of my favorite Tool albums, given how, given just the music on it, man, and the atmosphere that it gives off. It's just a great album. It's definitely one of those albums that you have to sit down, go completely numb, cut off all other distractions to really like get into it, because it gets really slow at times. But the progression is just insurmountable. It's perfection. Particularly on the second side with Wings for Mary and then 10,000 Days. I really love this song, Rosetta Stone, The Pot. The opening song, Vicarious, is kick-ass. I love that song. Zombie's cool. And then the last side with Intention, kind of a slower tune going into Ride In 2, really helps finish off the album. And then the last song on here, Vigente Tres, I think that's how you say it. Really weird to listen to, man, but I almost like it. It's just like this weird noise. Kind of a weird way to finish off the album, but definitely something cool. It's got that really cool. That's probably the coolest part of the album artwork is the gatefold. I mean, the artwork overall is great, but that right there is sick. So yeah, man, sick to have this album. Tool's a great band, and I was supposed to catch a show of theirs in March. And then it got fucking canceled because of the fucking lockdown bullshit. So that was a disappointment, but someday in the future, right? Alright, have a huge Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden vinyl haul. There you go. I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan. I've showed a lot of their albums and the other videos that I've made. Two of their earlier albums that I got were, start off with this one. This is just their first album, Iron Maiden, self-titled. Man, a really good record. I kind of dismissed this one when I first heard it. it's a tendency of mine to dismiss the debut albums by bands because they're just kind of getting started and they typically don't tend to be their best. And this is certainly not their best, but for a first album, this is kick-ass. Iron Maiden were one of those bands that were just kick-ass right out of the door, and they've been kick-ass ever since. And this is really early too. This is before Bruce Dickinson, so it's Paul Di'Anno on vocals, and it's also before Nico McBrain on drums, so it's Clive Burr on drums. But still really good. Prowler, Remember Tomorrow, Running Free's fantastic, Phantom of the Opera is great, Transylvania, Strange World, Charlotte the Harlot, Iron Maiden, the classic Iron Maiden. Not a bad song on this record, man. So, yeah, man, glad to have collected this, glad to have given it a few listens. I was just listening to it tonight. And just a great reissue, great sounding album. So, yeah, man. Iron Maiden, first one, kick ass right out the door, man. You can't let them down. And then Killers, another good album. Certainly not as popular as some of their other records, but still a good record nonetheless. It opens up with this cool instrumental, The Ides of March. The big song off of here is Wrathchild. Murders in the Rue Morgue is certainly one of my faves. Another Wife, Genghis Khan is cool. Innocent Exile, Killers is another great song. Prodigal Son, Purgatory Drifter. I mean, for what I remember, it's a good record. It doesn't sound as good on this vinyl as it does on the first album. You kind of have to turn this one up a little bit more. Yeah, man, but still, great album nonetheless. So, Killers. Glad to have this one too. And then getting into some of the later Maiden, some of my favorite, some of like my personal favorites. This one right here, Brave New World. This album has certainly grown on me. It's just it's such a good comeback album because before this, Bruce Dickinson was solo, and then they were with Blaze Bayley, and those two albums were pretty good within themselves too. But they're just best with Bruce Dickinson. You got to be honest. You know, I'll show you the inside. I mean, and with coming back with this album, they just hit it right out of the park. And I love the album artwork on this. Super cool. The whole album is fantastic. The Wicker Man, The Ghost and Navigator is awesome. Brave New World, Blood Brothers, The Mercenary. They have two, almost more like three epics on this album. Dream of Mirrors, The Nomad, The Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Out of the Silent Blue Planet is a cool song. Not a bad song on this album, man. So, definitely Brave New World. Glad to have it. Glad to have it like all these other albums. So yeah, Brave New World. Recommend that if you want to listen to some newer, more recent Iron Maiden, even though that album's like 20 years old. And then next up is Dance of Death. Another great album. I can't really say I'm a fan of that artwork, though it is what it is. It's kind of mixed. It's got all this weird CGI stuff on it, but it's got some cool features to it, like the floor right there. I kind of think that's cool. And then you got the main guy right here. I think that would be Eddie. Hopefully that's Eddie right there on the front in the middle. But a bunch of weird characters on the front as well. And this is a fantastic record. I think a lot of the songs on this album, they go overlooked because you have like three epics on here. You have like the two bigger songs like Wildest Dreams and Rainmaker, but then you have the epics like No More Lies, Dance of Death, and Passchendaele. All are wonderful songs. Some of their best in my opinion. But then you have a lot of like, I wouldn't call it filler material, but more like unknown material on here. Like Montségur, dude, awesome. Gates of Tomorrow, New Frontier, Face in the Sand, Age of Innocence, and then it finishes off with kind of a more laid-back tune called Journeyman. Yeah, man, really good record. Just a strong album overall, particularly after a good album, Brave New World. And it's got the cool custom label right there. Every label is different, so pretty neat. So yeah, man, definitely a good album. Dance of Death, you gotta give it a shot. Just gotta give it a shot. So yeah, there's that. And then I got the live album that went along with that tour. That is Death on the Road. And a great live record too. I don't really think Iron Maiden has a really bad live record. They're also good and energetic and strong. But this one's really good. It's got a really good variation of songs on it. It's got a bunch of songs from Dance of Death. Like you have Wildest Dreams, you have Dance of Death, No More Lies, Passchendaele. Like you got all the epics on here too. You got Rainmaker. You have a really cool version of Journeyman. I think you have a better version of Journeyman on here than on the studio album, in my humble opinion. And then just a cool gatefold with song listings. And then you got pictures of the band playing that tour. I believe this was in Germany. Dortmund, yeah, Dortmund, Germany. Yeah, man, overall, great live album. Dance of Death, or Death on the Road, the tour for Dance of Death. Perfect album. And then one of their best of the 2000s, and this is the last Maiden album, but I gotta show it. Matter of Life and Death. Their best, one of my favorites of theirs. It's a very powerful album. They talk a lot about war and a lot of themes revolving around the pain that comes from war and the pain that goes on for decades after the war. Really good album, man. Just great material. Not a bad song on here. And all the songs are so long, too. Like, I mean, These Colors Don't Run, 6.5 minutes, no, 7 minutes. Sparkling 1,000 Suns is almost 9. For the Greater Good of God, The Legacy, Lord of White. It's just a fucking great album, dude. You can't go wrong. I'll show you some of the album artwork. It's got these cool, got this cool thing that came on the inside. Not really sure what it is, but it goes along with the album. Hopefully I can get it back in. And then you got these cool custom labels right here, right? Who cares? And you got that. I think that's really cool. So yeah, man, not Dance of Death, God, Matter of Life and Death, phenomenal. Definitely one of their best in the later years. And you got to think, for a band this far into their career, after being around for nearly 3 decades, and they come out with an album this good, I mean, dude, you just got to give them credit. You got to give them credit. So yeah, man, Matter of Life and Death. Highly recommend to any metalheads out there who are just looking to some good music to listen to, or just hard rock, progressive. This is right up your alley. So yeah, great stuff. And then moving on to another band, one of my favorites now, given that I discovered them recently, Blind Guardian. Oh man, just another epic band, but epic in a different way. These guys sing more about tales and stories, and they sing a lot about Lord of the Rings and kind of like these old medieval themed stories, you know, that has inspired a lot, and it definitely inspired these guys. And one thing I just love about these guys' music is it's so energetic. The lyrics and the thought and the music and trying to conceptualize these stories that they're writing about, they do a great job with that. But there's just so much passion in their music, and there's so much passion in their fans when you listen to their live albums. And 2 of the albums that I really like this one. This is Tales from the Twilight Hall. And just front to back, great album. Traveler in Time, Welcome to Dying, Lord of the Rings, Goodbye My Friend, Lost in the Twilight Hall, Tommy Knocker's The Last Candle. You have a live version of Run for the Night. And one thing you gotta give credit to these guys for is just the sheer epicness of the artwork. I'll show you this really cool gatefold. I don't know if there's anything more cool than that. That's what I love about these guys. It's just the passion in the artwork. You know, these guys aren't doing it for money, man. They're doing it because they love it. And Blind Guardian is definitely one of those bands where that shines through. So yeah, man, great album. Tales from the Twilight Hall. And then probably one of my favorites of them is Somewhere Far Beyond. Another really good album. This is the one that really got me into the band. I just think it's so epic because it's epic all the way through, right? But it ends with like the most epic song, which is Somewhere Far Beyond. 7.5 minutes long, right? But this is a great album, front to back. Time What Is Time, Journey Through the Dark, Black Chamber, Theater of Pain, The Quest for Tantalorn, Ashes to Ashes is fantastic. The fan favorite, the Bard song, I love that song. And then the Bard song, The Hobbit, which is the heavier version of the Bard song with the version in the forest. It's such a good tune. That is such a good song. I can't stop thinking about it. I love just the tavernous feel about it. It's a tavern song. And then The Somewhere Far Beyond, the epic on the album. Great song. And more epic artwork. It's just so fucking cool. You gotta admit it, Blind Guardian does a fantastic job with their artwork. So good. So yeah, man, I'm so glad I discovered this band. Thanks to Israel Quezada. His channel is what introduced me to Blind Guardian. I discovered his channel with all the vinyl videos that he posted. Like a bunch of Rush stuff, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Iron Maiden. And I saw Blind Guardian on there, and I decided to check him out, and I don't regret it. So shout out to Israel. Thank you, Israel. The Nightwish. Huge Nightwish vinyl haul, man. And this is what I'm going to finish off with. Nightwish Once. Fantastic. You can't go wrong with it, man. Nightwish is not a band for everyone, but they really do it for me. I love the female vocals on here, and I love the sometimes the alternation between the female vocals and then the heavy growling male vocals on some of the songs. But another band where just the passion in the music is so clear, particularly on songs like Ghost Love Score, Creek Mary's Blood, Dark Chest of Wonders, I Wish I Had an Angel, Nemo, Planet Hell. Dude, this is so good. I love Nightwish. Hopefully I can catch a show of theirs one day. They're not that big here in the U.S. Given that they're from Finland, they're more popular in Europe, but they have played shows here in the U.S., but they just go to major cities and stuff like that. Yeah, man, great album. Epic album. Their albums are very epic. So you got to give it to these guys, whether you like them or not, whether you think their style is too out there. The operatic themes that they have to their music, they can really move you. So you really got to give it to these guys, man. And Once is just a great album. So yeah. And then one of my favorites by theirs, actually, I'll just show both of these. First off, we have Wishmaster. Another great album. This is earlier. I think this came out 2000? Yeah, 2000. Another fantastic album. I can't remember all the songs on here. Obviously, She Is My Sin, The Kinslayer, Come Cover Me, Wanderlust, Two for Tragedy. Oh yeah, Wishmaster is really great. Bear Grace Mystery, Dead Boy's Poem. Finishes off with an epic, Phantasmic. That's a cool song. And then they have some live versions on here. Like they have Deep Silent Complete Live, and they have Wanderlust Live. Really cool, man. This is hard to come by. I was lucky to come by it on Merch Now, and I was able to find a copy of this album because I love this album. Fantastic. I always love the artwork that these guys put out. So Wishmaster, and then Century Child. Oh man, Century Child. Oh dude, this is a kick-ass album. Kick-ass, front to back, the whole thing. Different in style from the albums that they made before, but so damn good. Blessed Child is wonderful. End of All Hope is definitely one of my favorite, probably one of my favorite Nightwish songs of all time. Dead to the World is awesome. Ever Dream, Slaying the Dreamer, Forever Yours, Ocean Souls, beautiful songs. Phantom of the Opera, and then the Epic, The Beauty of the Beast, Lagoon, The Wayfarer, and then you got some additional material on here where they do Dead of the World Live, End of All Hope, and Bless the Child edit. Yeah, man, really cool. The album artwork, these inner sleeves are really cool. You got a picture of the band right there. You got the lyrics right there. And very cool custom album artwork. That is some sick shit right there, baby. That is, yeah, just a great album. Glad to have these, man. Glad to have these. They're getting hard to come by these days. So, I don't have to worry about that no more, because I got them now in my collection. So, yeah, Century Child. Highly recommend to any metalhead out there who really wants to change up their taste in music. They want to shoot for some female vocals or something like that. Man, go for this album. Century Child, fantastic. Go for a few other Nightwish albums. So yeah, man. That, and then the last two, I'll go fast. Another fave of mine, Oceanborn. Great album. I think this is really cut through. Stargazers, Gethsemane, Deep Dark Ocean. Yeah, this is a great album too. Sleeping Sun is a beautiful song. The Pharoah Sails to Orion. The early Nightwish is something cool, man. Definitely something cool. And then you got some extra stuff on here too. Sleeping Sun Live, Swan Heart, the Pharoah. Yeah, dude, really cool album. I love that artwork. That is some beautiful artwork on there, baby. So yeah, Oceanborn, great album. One of my favorite albums of '98. And then their first album, which is also another good album. I can't say it's my fave, but there's definitely some good tunes, like Beauty of the Beast, Elven Path. I'm going to do a review on this album, because it's one that I'm kind of iffy about. So it's one I got to give a new chance. But yeah, man. The Nightwish Final Haul was the biggest part of this. This and Iron Maiden. So yeah, man. That's all I really have. I'm gonna do a few album reviews here pretty soon. Yeah, and hopefully come up with some good ideas. I have some NoFap material coming out. I'm on the journey myself. I find music to be a very helpful part of it. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. Nothing that special. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a beautiful and blessed day or night wherever you are. I hope you're listening to some good music, getting inspired. Anyways, you guys, I gotta peace out. Take care. Bye.